Alright guys, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra video on my channel. So today we're going to do a tier list. We are going to rank each character that is currently available in the game. Now the way we are going to rank is obviously we're going to have a few criteria. First and foremost, damage potential. How much damage they can consistently deal in different scenarios. Role effectiveness, how well they perform the assigned role, like damage dealer, tank, or technical, and so forth. Versatility, ability to adapt across different modes, whether it be PvP or missions or squad compositions, and so forth. Team synergies, how well the character fits into teams, like providing buffs, protection, or complementary skills. And the ease of use, right? Like how characters that are strong but require complex setups may rank lower than equally powerful fighters who are easier to play effectively, right? So based on these criteria, we are going to set up a tier list. So let's get started. So we actually have 5 tiers. So S, A, B, C, and D is somewhat of the lowest tier currently available. So I'm just gonna categorize units accordingly. So let's actually start off with D tier actually. And first and foremost, I have to say one unit needs to get in there, and it's Krillin. I am not a fan of Krillin. Like, he provides technical support, but he lacks impact compared to other fighters. Like, he doesn't, in my opinion, have much versatility. Yes, he has the ability to give out to set his traps and everything. He does have his attack where he actually stuns the opponents for a minute, but overall, like, I've played a couple of games with Krillin and his damage is so incredibly underwhelming. He is, in my opinion, literally just trash currently in the game. Like, that's just me being honest here about Krillin's kit. Very disappointing. Even his Destructo Disc, his final move, has good coverage, but it's so easy to avoid, in my opinion. Yeah, he's just lacking overall on each corner, so that's why I'm placing him in D tier. And with that, I'm actually pretty much done with D tier, to be honest. He is the only one I just want to place there because he is just trash. So let's move over to C tier, actually. Now, starting off with C tier, I'm gonna put Dabura in there. First and foremost, Dabura, he has some damage potential, right? The thing is, he falls behind in speed and consistency, which is the biggest issue Dabura really has, right? When you compare him to other characters, for example, then I feel like Dabura is very, very underwhelming currently in the current early game setup, right? So if we're taking a look at his skills, for example, he does have the Demon's Domain, the Doom's Ray, Darkness Spear. Now, he did get nerfed as well, which is kind of, I mean, he did supposedly get buffed, but it feels more like a nerf in comparison to other units, right? So overall, I would say Dabura is probably the worst in the C tier currently available, right? If we move on forward, and we're taking a look at the other characters here. At the next in the next spot, we're gonna place the Zamasu in here. Where is he? Zamasu, am I missing him? There he is. Now, Zamasu is very interesting, actually. Now, he is overall not a bad character if you compare him to other characters. The thing with Zamasu, he's a tanky fighter, right? He fulfills his role actually pretty good. The thing about him is, in terms of damage potential, he falls behind. He's also heavily overshadowed by more like durable and impactful tanks. Like, for example, Vegeta. Vegeta does such a good job at being a tank, whereas Zamasu just, yeah, falls off behind it. If we're going to take a look at the noticeable skill from Vegeta, which basically restores its own armor, Zamasu is also not bad. I mean, he can restore his own HP, but overall, he is definitely not as good as Vegeta, for example, right? So let's carry on. Next up, we're gonna actually go with Cauliflower here. Where is she? Cauliflower, there. Now, I'm going to place her above. Obviously, this is the rating I'm going to do. So, Dabura is the lowest. Cauliflower. Now, she's also a tank, right? The thing is, it's kind of sad. She is a tank, but lacks defensive power. You know, like if you compare her to Cell, I mean, Cell is just a broken tank, right? Cauliflower, in comparison, just dies so quickly, which makes her less desirable to be used as a tank, right? She does have her favors, obviously, right? Being like a fan favorite character of a lot of people out there currently. She's definitely a character you can play. Her passive is actually all right, which basically gives an ability that buffs resistance to enemies, and also damage taken is reduced from enemies who have the provoked status. So overall, she's not bad. She also can transform to Super Saiyan, which basically ups her HP, her armor, attack. But overall, she just falls off short behind it. Next up, we're actually gonna go with Baby. Now, I feel like Baby should be in B rank. He might change in the course of this video, actually. I'm gonna think about this one again. I'm gonna keep this one in the back of my mind, actually. Now, Baby, this is the first Dragon Ball game where we actually get to play a dedicated baby, like a young body baby. Like, it's crazy to see that we never had a baby before. Now, the problem with Baby, he's a very difficult to play character. Very, very difficult to play character. He's a good tank, I'm not gonna lie. His tanking is extremely good. Self-healing is also very good. The problem is damage output, very, very low. Right? He has a passive ability which basically takes possession of an enemy hero, KO an enemy hero with a finisher to possess and control them, which is pretty good, right? He loses control when the enemy hero respawns, but until he gets to respawn, the enemy hero basically fights for us, which is nice, right? On top of that, he does have a decent kit, but again, the damage output he does is just too low. But in terms of tankiness, he's pretty good. Probably the best one out of the current C tier, definitely. And last but not least, we're gonna go with Gohan. I feel like Gohan should also be in B tier. I actually played quite a lot with Gohan, Kid Gohan. He's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, he's actually good. In terms of a support unit, if you're a beginner and you're wanting to just get into the game, I highly recommend playing with Gohan, right? He's a technical unit. He does have a few limited options, right? The thing with him is he's just been outclassed by a lot of older fighters, let's just say like that, right? But in terms of damage output, he isn't bad, right? So he is a technical support. Unlike Krillin, who can even deal damage and has a way better kit. So yeah, that's Gohan. And with this one here, I'd like to conclude C tier. I think we can move on to B tier. And in B tier, we're actually going to start off with Majin Buu. Yeah, Majin Buu, what can I say? Very interesting character, actually, we still don't have... we need Kid Buu. Obviously, Kid Buu would be something that would be very nice, right? Majin Buu, he has an ability that strengthens himself when healing or obstructing others, right? He can heal ally heroes or apply debuffs to enemies, and it also will increase the damage dealt by his rush attacks, which is nice. The thing with Majin Buu is he's kind of slow and less effective in like high pressure fights. Like when you have, like for example, on the opponent's lineup, you have Cell, you have Goku, you have a lot going on. I feel like Majin Buu is just not keeping up with that. Next up, we're actually coming out with Kale. No, can we? Yeah, okay, like this. Yeah, Kale is actually pretty good. She's actually strong. Very, very strong character actually to play with. I'm actually wondering when we actually get Broly. Broly is going to be a hype thing as well. Now the thing with Kale is she can't rank high because she's also very difficult to play. She needs a bit setting up. She needs also, again, another character on board. She can transform to the Super Saiyan Berserk stage without any level requirements, right? Which is actually crazy. The thing is, the effect is cancelled after a set period or after extra HP is used up. So she's not staying in that state, unlike Super Saiyan transformation from Vegeta or from Goku, right? So that's a thing with Kale, which is basically making her not as versatile as the other units are, right? So that's that. In terms of damage output, definitely crazy good unit. In terms of destroying enemies, if she's in Berserk stage, she's doing a lot of damage. But overall, I'm very hard to control and less versatile, I'd say, right? So next up, we're actually going to throw Bojack in there. Now, I only played a couple of games with Bojack, but I must say, the good thing is he offers a lot of burst damage, right? Which is very good. The thing with him is he struggles a bit with consistency. So now I have the wording right. But fairly overall, he's generally very easy to play. Like, he's not really a difficult character to play with. Probably the easiest on the entire list. He also transforms at level 7. He's able to transform to his full power version, right? Which basically ups his base HP, attack, and so forth, right? He does have a passive as well, which basically orders subordinates to perform follow-up attacks. So when he attacks, after hitting an enemy hero with a skill or whatever, landing a rush attack will call in a subordinate for a follow-up attack, which is nice. So he does a lot of damage, a lot of burst damage, which is good. But the thing is, again, he lacks a bit of consistency, hence I placed him a bit lower than actually planned to. And last but not least, we're going to go with 18. Now, 18 is probably the best one on this list. She's a technical character, but the thing with her is she's more of a situational utility type of character, I'd say. If you get what I mean, like, she is good, no doubt about that. The thing with her is she struggles overall with damage, right? First things first, damage is difficult with her. She is very relatively easy to play, actually. She has a passive which basically grants buff against assault target, right? Basically, you apply a stack to enemy heroes when skill or powered up attacks land, and you deal more damage with those to those enemies with high enough stacks, right? That's basically that. She does have Destructo Disc, Heartbreaker, pretty good setup. The thing is, she unlocks her abilities for a technical character very late at level 8. If you compare that to, like, for example, Gohan, he will unlock his techniques a bit earlier, which makes him more versatile in comparison to 18. So I feel like, yeah, 18 is up there, better than Gohan and Krillin, but still not really much made it into A tier. But anyways, yeah, that's B tier. Now let's go to A tier. Let's jump over there. A tier. Let's start off with Oop, actually. My boy Oop. Now, Oop is actually very strong. Strong melee focused fighter. Very reliable. Very, very good unit. I don't think there is much more to say about that. I've enjoyed playing a lot with Oop during the current first day of playing the game. Now, he's a bit more difficult to use, I'd say, right? He's not really as easy to use, like, for example, as Goku, but he's definitely up there. He probably makes it into S tier if he gets another buff or so in future. But yeah, that's that. Next up, we're actually going to throw in the Gammas. Now, the Gammas are actually very good. Aggressive, very good DPS character, very good synergy with other damage rolls as well. So the Gammas are actually probably currently the best androids in the game. Now, we still have 17. It's going to come up in a moment, right? But the Gammas are actually just pretty much busted. They have the Gamma switch. Basically, you're going to be able to switch between the two. Each one has their own HP stats, so you're actually having a bit more survivability. Pretty much busted. Pretty busted, I'd say. Right, next up, we're actually going to throw in 17. 17 goes before the Gammas. I'm actually going to place Oop up there. I feel like Oop is higher ranked than the Gammas. But they're all A tier anyways, right? Now, 17, again, did I, before that, I mixed it up, right? I actually wanted to place 18 here and 17 here. What am I doing? 17 is the technical fighter. 18 is actually the one character which is basically a very good single target damage unit. Like, there is nothing more to say about that. 18 does a lot of damage. In terms of single target damage, if it's 1 versus 1, she will take out most units, unless it's like 1 versus Cell, right? Cell is going to destroy her. But in general, right, 18, 1 versus 1, very strong. If we're gonna go next up, if we're gonna talk about Cell, then we might as well throw him in there. Cell is extremely strong tank, regeneration abilities, high durability, and a lot of presence. If he's there, he's there. I mean, Cell is just pretty broken. Probably the best tank in the game right now, if you want to rank him purely on his presence, his mere being on the field and supporting. He's just pretty broken. But yeah, that's Cell. I'm just gonna throw him in there. Next up, we're actually gonna go with Cooler. Now, Cooler is my favorite. Cooler is just very tanky fighter. He can sustain a lot of damage as well and deals a solid amount of damage. I feel like if we get Metal Cooler in future, he's probably gonna go into the tanky role as well. I don't even know. Maybe he's gonna be a tanky fighter. I don't know. We'll see. But currently out there, if you're looking for a good character to play with and you want to go evil, right, then you definitely want to go with Cooler if you have him unlocked already. The difficulty is actually pretty easy to play with, right? He's one of the easiest characters as well to play with, in my opinion. And last but not least, we're actually going to throw Trunks in there. Now, I'm going to throw Trunks just below Cooler. Trunks is pretty good. Base form, Super Saiyan, whatever. Very balanced, very strong melee capabilities. Plus, he can transform to Super Saiyan, so he has another boost on top of that. So, Trunks is probably one of the coolest fighters currently in the game. And I feel like if we get Gotenks maybe in future, he would probably be S tier as well. So now, last but not least, we're actually going to be jumping into S tier. There is one character on this entire list which I kind of find difficult to rate, which is Mini Goku, right? I feel like Mini Goku is at the upper end of B tier, right? Just above 17, right? The thing with Mini Goku, he's like a free character everyone got currently, right? He's like of mediocre difficulty to play. He's like a mid-range character, which is basically due to his pole attacks, right? He can attack with his poles, which basically lets him have range. A lot of characters kind of do themselves difficult to come close to him. Hence, he's so good at keeping characters at distance and finishing them off from the distance. So I'm just going to throw him in there for now. Maybe in future that changes, right? Next up, we're actually going to take a look at the other units which are in S tier. So we're going to start off with Frieza. Frieza actually pretty broken. S tier, he's listed. The thing with Frieza is very weird. He's listed as a technical unit, right? However, I feel like Frieza should have been a ranged damage type unit, right? I mean, he's technical, but he does so much good damage, ranged damage, right? He has a lot of control over the battlefield. He's able to punish groups of enemies with his skills. Frieza is just top notch. Sadly, we didn't get a transformation skill for him, right? That would have been nice if we had like a way of transforming him to his final form. Maybe that's gonna come in future, but overall, I feel like Frieza is one of my favorite ones in the game currently. Piccolo has to come to S tier as well. The funny thing is, in the pick ratings from the beta, Piccolo was I think number 13. So few people actually enjoyed playing with Piccolo, and I don't get it, right? Piccolo, pure damage dealing character, right? Very strong character, good survivability, very balanced stats. He's pretty much a staple in any game mode. Any team will profit from having a Piccolo on his squad, right? Definitely one of those characters to look out for. Next up, we're going to come with Vegeta. I think it's safe to say this is the best tank in the game right now. Vegeta does it all, right? Very reliable damage dealing capabilities, very good tank. He's sort of a hybrid, right? He can deal damage, he can tank. He's got a lot of durability, high offensive pressure. The thing is, he has the ability which basically does a lot of AoE damage, sort of, right? And he's going to recover his own shield, so his own armor. So Vegeta, bro, he is up there. Next up, we're going to come up with Hit. Just gonna throw him in there. On S tier, it doesn't really matter what the order is. Hit is probably the best support technical character in the game. Time skip mechanic is just broken, right? He does a lot of precision striking, a lot of counterplay, just like in the anime. I mean, Hit is just, Hit is extremely good right now. Last but not least, we're gonna throw in Goku. Now, Goku, I mean, safe to say, he has base form, he has Kaioken, and he has Super Saiyan. Probably the best damage dealing unit in the game right now. Flexible, powerhouse, very good offense skill across overall. The good thing is he has Kaioken, which can be used offensively and defensively, right? He can use Kaioken to attack, to burst, to increase his burst potential. He can also use Kaioken to use it to run away very quickly. If you want to get away quickly, use Kaioken, get away, move to your zone, heal up, come back. And when he transforms to Super Saiyan, it provides on top of that even more consistency. So overall, I'd say this is the current ideal best tier list you can find. This will definitely change as the season goes on, right? So we're currently just on day 1. So as of now, if you look into play specific characters, I highly recommend trying out the characters which are listed above here. But as always, you want to have fun with the game. So play whatever you like, right? And enjoy the game. And as always, do let me know down below in the comment sections what you think about this. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Until next time.